Hey there, it's Nina here with Walleye Stamping. Thanks for joining me today. So I have this really cute little gift card that I have made that can be used for Valentine's if you want to. And I wanted to share some watercoloring techniques with you where I've embossed the shape of the heart onto my watercolor paper and then colored in the background as well as the hearts. And I did them in a graduating color so that they start out light and they end up dark at the bottom. Put a little sentiment on the front, but then what is really cute is when you open up this card on the inside, I have this little heart-shaped pocket that you can slip a gift card into. So this is really a fun and cute way to give someone a gift card for Valentine's. So let's jump on in and I'm going to show you how it's made. Here's our card. I think it is so bright and cheerful. I love how the hearts go from a lighter pink all the way down to this dark color down here, which is my rich raspberry. And I don't know how well you can tell. I'm going to turn this in the light, but this little heart right here is shiny where the rest of them are not. I'll show you how I did that. Then I've got my white heat embossed sentiment on the front, and when you open it up on the inside, I've made a pretend gift card here, and I've used my hearts and put a sentiment on that, but also used it as the pocket to put the gift card in. So let me show you everything you're going to need to create this card. First of all, we're going to start out with our fresh fig, and this is our card base. It's 9.5 by 3 3/4. Some lemon lime twist, 4 3/8 by 3 3/8, a piece of watercolor paper, 4 by 3. I've got some basic black, and I've cut myself 2 of these, and you'll want these to be 3/8 of an inch by 2 3/4, and then a piece of melon mambo to cut my hearts out with that is 7 by 3.5. The inks I'm going to use is melon mambo, rich raspberry, powder pink, and Pacific Point. I'm going to be using my Sweet and Sassy framelits to cut out the hearts for the pocket that'll hold the gift card. The stamp sets I'm using, there's actually 2 of them. Heart Happiness, I'm going to use this cute little heart down here to do all the stamping for these hearts on the front. And I'm also going to be using the Lovely Wishes to get my 2 sentiments from. Then I'll have a little bit of adhesive. I'll show you that as we go. And I'm going to clean this up and we'll get started. The first thing I'm going to do is my stamping. So I'm going to bring in a piece of my basic black. I'm going to be using my Versamark, and I've got my embossing buddy here, and I'm just going to rub that across my basic black. And don't look at my ink pad because it looks awful where I've accidentally gotten ink in it. But I'm going to get my You Are One of a Kind stamp inked up and get this stamped right down in the center and kind of to the left-hand side of my paper. And I did not stamp that as straight as I would like to, so I'm going to toss that one to the side and bring in another one. See, that's the reason that I cut myself out 2 of them. So let's see if I can't do a better job this time. And as a matter of fact, sorry, but I'm going to have to pull this down here so that I can see what I'm doing just a little bit better. There we go. That looks a lot better. Going to go ahead and put my embossing powder on there, and this is just my white embossing powder. Then next I'm going to use my watercolor paper, and one side of this watercolor paper has more of a texture than the other. I'm actually going to flip it over and use the side of the watercolor paper that's a little bit smoother. So I'm going to use that little heart-shaped stamp and my Versamark, and I'm just going to stamp these randomly all over my watercolor paper. Got my heat tool. I'm just going to get this white embossing powder heat set on here. I've got all of my ink colors lined up here. I'm going to be using my aqua painter. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off a little bit just to make sure it is clear. I'm going to put quite a bit of water into my Pacific Point because I want this color in the background, but I don't want it so strong that it just kind of takes over everything. And I'm going to come in here and paint around the outside of all of these hearts. Now I've got the blue background done, and one of the reasons why I love doing watercoloring with heat embossing is that the heat embossed part acts as a barrier to separate my colors, and I don't have to worry about them running together. So I'm going to start out with my powder pink, and I'm going to start at the top with these hearts and color those in, and I'm just going to let them be pale and not try to put a ton of color in there because I do want them to start out light, and as I go down the page I want them to get darker. I'm going to go ahead and put the powder pink in these two flowers as well. I like starting out with my lightest color and working into my darker colors. So now I'm going to pick up some of my Melon Mambo, and I'm going to come in here on the bottom of these and add just a little bit of that Melon Mambo color. Then these are going to be colored in with just the Melon Mambo, a little bit over there. Then I'm going to add a little bit higher concentration of that Melon Mambo in this heart right here, make it a little bit darker, as well as this one. Then the very tip tops of these, I'm going to put just a little bit of that Melon Mambo in, and then I'm going to pick up my fresh fig and add that to the bottom part. And so there we go. You can spend more time on this if you want to, but I like that loose watercolor feel with this project. And see how even in my background there are some lighter areas and darker areas in that blue. I just like that look, so I'm leaving it that way. I'm just going to flip this over, put my fuse on the back, then I'll attach that down in the center of the lemon lime twist. I'm going to take my card base, fold that in half. I'm going to go ahead and cut out my hearts. So I'm going to grab my Big Shot. I'm going to put my Melon Mambo on there. I'm going to be using the largest heart and the next to the largest heart. I'm going to get both of these ran through the Big Shot and cut out. Now on my smaller heart, I have my sentiment that says, "You warm my heart." So I'm going to prep my paper with my embossing buddy again. Grab my Versamark one more time. Get that inked up. I'm going to stamp this in the center of the flower. And this is the smaller of the two hearts. Put my embossing powder on there, and I'm going to get that heat set. So I have a few mini dimensionals on the back of my heart, and I'm going to place this one right on top of the larger one. Then we'll want to put that on the inside of our card. So I have found that the easiest way to do this is to take what is going to be my pretend gift card. I'm going to lay it down right there. And you can use liquid glue if you want to. You can use fast fuse, whatever you choose. And I'm going to use my card as a guide to know where to put my adhesive. So there, and then right across the bottom. So I just went around the outside edges, but leaving room so that when I slide my card in and out, it's not going to be difficult to get it in and out of that little heart. Then I'm just going to attach this in the bottom center of my card. Make sure that this will slide down inside, and it does. All right. I've got many dimensionals on the back of my sentiment for the front of the card. I'm going to come right here and line this up with the right edge and then just attach that there. Now you can choose to do this or leave it off if you like. I'm going to take my fine tip glue pen, decide on a heart that I want to highlight, and I'll just come in here and squeeze out some of this glue, because it also works kind of like Mod Podge or something like that. It's fairly thick, and just stay within the lines, and I'm just building up that glue and then wanting to leave it sit for, I would say probably at least 30 minutes to let that get fully set up. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this card today, and that you will experiment with this watercoloring technique. So if you like this video tutorial and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and please share it with your friends. If you're in need of any of these supplies I've used today so that you can make this card yourself, you can go to wallastamping.com/order-SU and shop on my online store 24/7. I'm going to have an instruction sheet for you on my website at wallastamping.com. It'll give you all of the measurements, the list of supplies, and step-by-step instructions on how you can make this card too. While you're there getting your instruction sheet, don't forget, sign up for my newsletter. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and letting me share this cute little card with you. I hope to see you back again soon, and I'll talk to you later.